we are going to discuss the last segment of the last unit, leaps and bounds, that is Conceptual Fruit by Thaisa Frank. You see, conceptual fruit, you must try to understand conceptual here meaning imaginative or fanciful, which is not real. So conceptual fruit which is not real or which is imaginative or which is fanciful is really talking about something virtual platform, internet platform. So conceptual fruit means we know, we also eat everyday fruits, vegetables and fruit. Here fruit means the advancement or the result. And that result is a conceptual and imaginative fruit. Or some fanciful fruit which is not real in the material world. That is conceptual fruit. It is also talking about the technology, science and technology, especially internet. Okay, so we are going to learn something about the writer Thaisa Frank. So Thaisa Frank is a woman or a lady. Is a critically, if you have a textbook, please take at the end of the story Conceptual Fruit by Thaisa Frank. Thaisa Frank is a critically acclaimed short story writer. Critically acclaimed. That means people who are very much, or Thaisa Frank is a very famous personality, especially critically means people who are just trying to assess the merits and demerits, the positive qualities and the negative qualities of Thaisa Frank's stories. That is why she is a critically acclaimed popular short story writer. She worked as a psychotherapist. Okay, that means a physician, psychotherapist, before becoming a full-time writer. So after being a psychotherapist, she finally came back to the full swing writer as a short story writer. So in addition to writing career, writing fiction means stories, novels like Thaisa Frank also teaches. She is a teacher also at the University of San Francisco. That's a very important one. Please try to understand Thaisa Frank is first a psychotherapist, then a full-time writer, and third quality is she is a teacher at the University of San Francisco. Let's see. This is Conceptual Fruit is a short story. And it is about the internet. Conceptual Fruit, the short story is mainly talking about the internet. That internet is actually a story or one part that appeared in the collection. Actually, she has written a collection of short stories. The collection of this short story or collection of short stories is Sleeping in Velvet. Sleeping in Velvet. Sleeping in Velvet. So, Sleeping in Velvet is a famous book of Thaisa Frank having a collection of short stories, and internet is one of the short stories appearing or included in the collection of short stories called Sleeping in Velvet. So remember that Thaisa Frank is first a psychotherapist, then a full-time writer, then a teacher at the University of San Francisco, and Conceptual Fruit is mainly talking about the internet. It is one of the stories in a collection of short stories by Thaisa Frank titled Sleeping in Velvet. Okay, so internet appears in the collection Sleeping in Velvet. So now we will pass on to directly the story. Conceptual Fruit. So before that, let us see some of the difficult words, vocabulary. That is a very important word. So you must try to understand some difficult words and also the meaning of such difficult words. That is all. Conceptual fruit. So artichoke, first word, you may be hearing it for the first time. Some students might have heard about artichoke. So what is actually artichoke? Artichoke is a round vegetable with a thick green leaves, just like for eating. Okay, refreshment. That is what we call it as artichoke. So artichoke here means a round vegetable with a thick green leaves. Okay, then swirl, SWIRL. I hope that all the students will be keeping textbook with you. Glossary section, that means near about the author there is a section glossary. So first one is an artichoke. Artichoke is a round vegetable with thick green leaves. Second one is a swirl, SWIRL. Move in a twisting pattern, moving in a twisting pattern. That is why swirl. Okay, moving in a twisting pattern or model. That is what we call it. Then incredible. Another word is incredible. Incredible means not believable, impossible to believe, unbelievable. Incredible means unbelievable. Then blonde. Blonde is actually talking about hair. Fair but pale, not very dark colored, the yellow hair. Okay, that is what called blonde. Okay, so we'll come across the character Greta in the story. She had a blonde. Blonde means fair, pale, yellow hair. Then blunt. Let us see what is blunt. No, blonde is her, then blunt. Blunt means mix with another substance. Blunt here means mix with another thing or substance so that they combine together. For example, tea powder mixed with sugar, blended. Tea sugar is blended with tea powder is blended together with or blended with sugar powder. That is, blend means mix together one substance with another so that they can be combined together. Blend means here mixed together. Peach. Peach is one of the fruits, a round fruit with a juicy yellow flesh. That is what we call it as peach. Then furtive. What is the meaning of a furtive? Furtive is mainly talking about attempting to avoid attention, unnoticed. Furtive here means unnoticed, furtive. Then slide. Slide we know, sliding, moving smoothly. Slide means move smoothly. Below. Below means bulge out or swelling. We know when injury is there, our skin will be swelling, coming out in a big size. That is the meaning of a billow or bulge out. So now, directly, we are going for really the story, short story, conceptual fruit. Differently abled children. So try to understand, please. Differently abled means blind people, deaf people. Blind means who cannot see. Deaf means who cannot hear. Dumb means who cannot speak. Lame means who cannot walk. So physically handicapped, differently abled means physically handicapped children are integral. Integral means a very important part of our society. We have come across so many handicapped children around or in our society, around ourselves. So they are integral, very important part of our society, and often the life is denied to them. Actually, these handicapped or differently abled children cannot enjoy the daily happiness or charms and beauties of a regular life, everyday life. So that is denied. They cannot enjoy such things. Technology. You see, technology extends, gives them a helping hand. So by the assistance of technology acts as a leveler in such cases. You see, technology is acting a balancing aspect between normal people and differently abled, especially normal children and differently abled children. For example, a deaf, a student who cannot hear is using a earphone. This is a technological device which is helping the boy or girl to hear the sounds. Blind. So blind people is actually, they cannot see, but the technology provides them many devices or apparatus or things to make them see. And also lame persons who cannot walk, technology is giving them wheelchair or walking stick, and with that there sometimes artificial limbs technology gives them, they are walking like normal people. So technology here becomes a balancer or a leveling between normal children and differently abled children. This story, actually conceptual fruit story, written by Thaisa Frank, reveals means showing the human face of technology in helping a young girl shape the world around her. You see here we will come across actually a 16-year-old girl called Greta. She is the protagonist of the story, main character of the story, and father also, Greta. 16-year-old Greta actually is technology assisting this differently abled girl to shape the world around her, to frame her own world and to make her leveled with the normal children. Okay, that is all. So we are going for the first paragraph of the story. When he told his family about the site on the internet. You see, father is talking. When he told the father of the family, you see here it is a drawing room or a living room. Living room means visitor's room. Father, son, sister and mother. You see, father, mother, son, sister, they are sitting in the visitor's room and having their snacks. So when he told, the father of the family told his family members about the site, you see, he is talking about a site, internet site or cyberspaces. Site, a place, a location on the internet where you could create a whole street. So that site gives us a lot of opportunities for creating the complete streets. When he told about that street's possibilities, his wife, that family's father's wife and son went on eating their pasta and artichokes, round vegetable with the thick green leaves, artichokes. They were eating. So mother and son were eating pasta and artichokes when the father of the family told about a site in the internet where they could create the whole streets. Went on eating their pasta and artichokes, only his daughter Greta. So when the father was talking, mother and son were not listening, but that means our family's daughter Greta looked up. She was interested in the talk of the father. I could buy a house on Pomander Street, you see. I could buy a house on Pomander Street, the father said, he said. He said, please once. I put as many rooms in it. I can build up numerous number of rooms in that house in Pomander Street. As I wanted, I could fill it with the fruit, and I can fill the house with or rooms with the fruit and make my own library, and I can make my own library. This is what the father said. Sure, Dad. So daughter is responding. Sure, Dad, said his son. Son told, yes, Dad, you can do it. Who was 11 years old? Actually, the son was a younger son who was 11 years old. He told, yes, sure, Dad, you can just build a house or buy a house in Pomander Street, and you can build up as many as rooms there. You could do that if you wanted. Yes, if you wish to do, you should do. You can. You may be able. You are able to do like that. His son, father's son, the story, the son already knew, he understood how to program computer. Actually, the 11-year-old son is very expert and excellent in computer programs. But wasn't interested, but he was not interested in computer. These days, he wanted to give away books. He does not want to be familiarized and be included with the busy with the books. He wanted to give away. I don't want the books. And he wanted to devote his life to karate, a sport. Karate, martial arts. His wife, now sons over, please try to understand these are the important points. His wife ate the heart of the artichoke. You see, they were eating pasta and artichoke. His wife ate the heart of the artichoke, means nearly 80% of the artichoke she completed by eating carefully, not carelessly, carefully she was eating. Well, he said, the thing is, she answered, I am in front of a computer all day. So wife is talking, and I like to spend the evenings in the garden. She told her, I am fed up with, I am bored with, I am feeling boring with the computers, and I would like to spend my evenings in the garden. He understood she wasn't interested. So from that talk of the wife, the father understood that the wife is not at all interested in a computer. Think about a son, 11-year-old, is actually very excellent in doing computer programs, but he was very much fed up and bored with the computer programs, and he wanted to give away his books and devote his time for karate. Wife told her, so I am in front of the computer all day and I like to spend it. She wanted to spend her evenings in the garden. So let us see. Greta looked up from her artichoke leaves. So Greta was also eating artichokes. She lifted her head up and was looking towards her father. She was arranging them in a swirling pattern in her bowl. You see, Greta looked up from her artichoke leaves. She was arranging them in a swirling, we understood that word, swirling, twisting, moving, twisting way, pattern in her bowl. You said there were streets. You said there could be fruit. So Greta is asking, Father, you said there were streets, and you said there could be more fruits. These weren't the question. These weren't the questions. So these were not important questions. Greta often repeated whatever she heard. You see, that is showing about her disability. That means differently able, handicapped. So whenever Greta hears one thing, Greta often repeated whatever she heard. For example, mother. If she heard that word mother, she will repeat over. Oh, mother, mother, mother. That means she is differently able. Means a handicap. She would, or she had worked hard to tie her shoes by age 10. You see. So when she was 10 years old, by the time only she could tie her shoelace of her shoes. That means from that we can understand she is differently able or handicapped. I could read at 5th grade level. A 5th grade level, she was able to read, reading, writing. Okay, so she was able to read only when Greta was in 5th grade level. That was the standard of her learning. 5 grades below Joel. You see, 5 grades below Joel, even if Greta is elder than her brother, she is 5 grade below her brother Joel, even though she was 16. By the time Joel was only 11 years old, she went to a special school. She cannot be taught, or her education cannot be done in a normal school. So there are special schools especially for handicapped children. So that school is called a special school. So she went to not as ordinary normal school, but Greta went to a special school, which is entirely different from the normal school. I want to see, she said. Greta said, Father, I want to see. Father told, I will show you. He answered. Father answered, I will show you. His wife and his son made eyes. They were looking. Made eyes means the mother was looking into the eyes of the son and the son was looking into the eyes of the mother. Something like they don't like wasting this time. Father is simply wasting time with the daughter Greta. He sat it again. He is getting Greta into it. So he was trying his daughter to come to the internet and make her wishes fulfilled. Come on, I will show you where you can make up the streets and bowls of fruit. Father is telling, come on, I will show you where you wanted to make up streets. Come on, which site you want to make streets and how many bowls of fruits you wanted to create. Greta sat in his chair, father's chair, and he sat next to Greta, his daughter. Greta could type very slowly. Even if she is 16, typing is very slow. That is why she is a handicapper or differently abled. By the time she left her school, so by that time she said goodbye, she left her school, she might be able to type fast enough. So she was, by the time she could type fast enough to get word processing job. If you are ready to type very fast, you are eligible for getting a word processing job. No one knew, no one did not know. No one knew means nobody knew. No one knew, nobody knew. That means people did not know for sure. Then, next paragraph. There is this guy named Sam. There is another name of a boy is mentioned here. Actually, this is another character in the story. So there is this guy named Sam who set up this whole library. Actually, he has created a complete, whole means a complete library of classic books. So he lives in Illinois. Actually, this boy called Sam lives in Illinois. It is also conceptual, internet connected, imagine, not in the real world. But he made this site, internet site, or incredible, unbelievable place. Nobody can. So he has constructed a complete library, a whole library of classic books. And he lives in Illinois. That Sam, the boy, is living in Illinois. But he made this place, this incredible place. People cannot understand. Sam, a boy, made this internet complete library of classical books, and nobody can believe it, but he created with the help of internet. Watch! He clicked into the program. Please, you watch this library. He clicked into the program and was about to show Greta. And the father could show Greta, his daughter, the collection of books in that whole complete library. When he saw her staring into, when he saw Greta staring, looking very minutely into space. You want something of your own, don't you? Father said, peers and arty charms. Do you want it? Then father is asking. Actually, she told, yes, I want peaches, pears, and arty charms. Do you want them in a house with bowls in a kitchen? Father is asking. Do you want these fruits in a house with bowls in kitchen? Or maybe in a garden. Do you want these fruits in a bowl in a house? Or in the kitchen? Or do you want these fruits in the garden? That is what father. He was already typing. Father was already typing, creating a street. He created in the internet place or site a street called Greta Street. Greta's Street. So really, please try to understand this. Since Greta is a differently abled girl, she cannot have her own street called Greta Street in real world. But father is helping her to create her own street called Greta Street in the internet space or site. A house called street called Greta Street, a house called Greta's house. Why are you writing all that down? Oh, she's asking, Father, why are you writing all those things there down? Because they are yours. They belong to you. Father says, see, I am writing all these things down because they are yours. The street is yours, the Greta Street, and the house is yours, because they are yours. The house is yours, a Greta house. So because they are yours, they belong to you. This street and the house belong to Greta. That is what Greta looked at the screen. So again, she looked at the screen of the computer. Her blonde hair, while I was explaining, you see a blonde hair, thick, yellow hair. Pale yellow hair. Her blonde hair blended with, mixed with her sweater. She was wearing a sweater and it is mixed with her sweater, outer garment sweater. Her blue eyes, the color of her eyes were blue. The only color in her face, actually that was the blue color was on her face, in her face. I want a bowl in every room. She said, greatest telling Father, I want a bowl in every room. So there are many rooms. I want a bowl in every room. She said, peaches in the kitchen. I want the fruit peaches in the kitchen and peaches in the living room. Living room means visitor's room. And all the bedrooms, not only in the kitchen, not only in the living room, visitor's room, but also she wanted the fruits of peaches in the bedrooms also. What about artichokes? Father asking. Greta picked at her sweater. She took up her sweater. Something she did when she knew she hadn't gotten it right. So she understood that she did not get it straight away. She had forgotten about the artichoke. So she forgot. She did not remember about artichoke. And he was sorry. He had reminded her, and father reminded his daughter about those things. It is okay. He said, okay, doesn't matter. Forgetfulness is okay, but doesn't matter. I made you remember those things. We will put the peaches everywhere. Father told, okay, as you wish, we will put peaches. We will place peaches in the kitchen, in the living room, and in all the bedrooms. Should the bowls be a color? Then father is asking, shall I give a color to the bowl? Then Greta told, yes, give a blue color to all the bowls. He asked Greta, how many windows she wanted. Okay, we are going to construct a house, many rooms. And how many windows, Greta, do you want? Whether there should be a fireplace. European countries, of course, night very cold, and in every room they will make a fireplace and they will get their body warm. So she says, whether there should be, father asked his daughter, do you want a fireplace in the rooms? And if there should be curtains. So Greta, if you want to hang up curtains, Greta, choose. And father asked Greta, do you want curtains in the rooms? Daughter Greta chose 11 windows, not 10 windows, 11 windows covered with the sheer white curtains. Actually, all the curtains should have a sheer white color like the one she had in her bedroom. Actually, in her Greta's real house, her own bedroom, she had that actually white sheer curtains. So she wanted that curtains to be implemented in that one. Okay, now the fruit. He said, father said, okay, doesn't matter. We will create room. We will keep peaches in all these places, curtains also. He said, we will start with the kitchen. Come on, we will start one by one with the kitchen. He wrote Greta's kitchen, Greta's street, Greta's house, Greta's kitchen. He added, father adding more. Walk around, help yourself to this bowl of fruit. Come on, you tell me where this bowl of fruit should be. But where are the peaches? When asked the father, where shall we keep the bowl of fruit? Then Greta, the daughter, asked her, where are the peaches? Where are the fruits? In a minute. Look, this is cool. You click under bowl and see what happens. Then father told her, don't worry, Greta. Look, this school, you click under the bowl, his image is there, and see what happens. He shielded, covered the screen for a shielded means covered and protected the screen for a moment, for some time, and wrote pictures. He wrote or typed. Try it, he said. Just click bowl. Greta clicked the bowl. The word peaches appeared on the bowl. It is just a word, she said to him. Greta told her father, bowl, and typed, what do we call it as a word? That is just to click bowl. Greta clicked the bowl. The word peaches. Peaches typed, word peaches appeared. It is just a word. Then by seeing the word peaches, she is telling father, this is not a real fruit, only word peaches is appeared on the screen. Well, that is the idea. That is really the concept. That is really the idea. But you can see a picture of the fruit. So you can see the picture of the fruit, not real fruit. I thought you could make real peaches. So actually Greta daughter is telling, father, I thought you could make real peaches fruit there. No. If you want, you have to go to the store or market for those real peaches. But these are just words. Well, yes, father is telling, well, yes. Then why do people like them? Then why do people like these things? Because they remind them. When we look at these words and pictures, they remember the real peaches or fruits of what they stand for. Like in your books, when we read books, a picture will be coming into our mind. Like that, when we see these pictures, we will really remember the real objects in the markets. He created other rooms. Father is trying or helping his daughter create other rooms. Asking Greta what she wanted. Then asked Greta, what do you want again? A kitchen, a dining room, a living room, a bedroom, a room for a cat. You see, she is fond of cats. Greta is fond of cat. And she asked her father to create a single room for her pet cat. And one bathroom. Father said he created other rooms. Then Greta actually, no, not a bathroom. I don't want a bathroom in this house. She decided. This isn't a real house. She told her father, if this is not a real house, so people will not use a bathroom. Then what is the use of bathroom? So she told her father, please don't create or don't build a bathroom, because this is not a real house. So people would not use a bathroom. So don't waste your time and space for constructing bathrooms. You are right. Father said, yes, what you said is really correct and right. You don't need a bathroom. Yes. You don't really need, or this house in internet site does not need a bathroom. He programmed bowls of peaches in every room. Every room there are bowls of peaches. Now he said to Greta, you click, please click. Greta clicked and this time smiled. Greta clicked and she smiled when the word peaches appeared. It was a furtive smile. Furtive smile means an unnoticeable smile. Nobody can notice that Greta smiles. Nobody can notice. It is unnoticeable smile that Greta produced or smiled. A smile she got when she pretended she understood something that made no sense, because she smiled an unnoticeable smile because she did not really understand what those things were, because those things did not make any sense. Those things were nonsense. That is why she made a furtive smile. There could be other food, he said. Then father said, not only peaches. So in other places we can place so many other fruits. There could be apples, pears, peaches, and also you can keep a bowl of flowers also. Not only fruits, but flowers also you can include in the rooms. Sure. Greta said, yes, Father, sure. There could be anything, not only fruits, not only flowers, there could be anything, some grocery or some vegetable, whatever. His wife was cutting. Now we are just locating on the another character, the mother of Greta or the father's wife. His wife was cutting blackberries, another fruit, blackberries in the garden. Actually, she told that she is not interested in computers and she wanted to spend her evenings in the garden. So the wife is now in the garden cutting blackberries in the garden, and Greta was already sliding, moving smoothly from the chair to help the mother. Greta would never have a house. That is a very important one. Actually, entirely different. So Greta would never, she will never have her own house in the real world. That is a reality. Because since Greta is differently abled or a handicap, she cannot by herself own her own house in the real world. So, Father is trying to satisfy or fulfill the wish of a differently abled girl called Greta by supporting her to fulfill her own wish of her own home, especially in an internet site. She would live in a group of house. Actually, she would live in a group house. You see, group house means there are so many children or girls like Greta, differently able to having their own houses in the cyberspace. So live in a group house with other people like Greta. He hoped, Father hoped, he expected the house would be large. Of course, Greta's house would be very large and have sheer white curtains. Very important, you would underline those three words. What kind of a curtain Greta was having in her house is have sheer white curtains billowing in all the rooms, projecting in all the rooms. He hoped, Father hoped, it would have an orchard, fruit tree gardens, and that Greta's conceptual house or internet house or cyberspace house will have an orchard. Orchard means fruit trees, garden with the fruit to put in real blue bowls. Actually, she told Greta was very much fond of blue color, and all these fruits should be placed in bowls which or that are blue in color. Let us see what are the different fruits: apples, pears, peaches, whatever fruits Greta wanted. That is all. You see here, my dear students. We have come to the end of this story. Internet, conceptual fruit. Here, we have come across many characters. Father, mother, son, Joel, Greta, daughter. And Sam, another boy from the internet, he has created a whole library of classics. So Father has shown that the whole library of classics are created by Sam, another boy in the internet, as a model or as an example for Greta. Like that, Greta can create her own large, palatial house with the orchard, fruit tree gardens. And she can have as many as rooms she wanted, having a sheer white curtains. Okay, so actually we can understand that she is a 16-year-old daughter or the elder daughter of the house, younger son Joel. And she cannot, by the age of 10 only, she was able to tie the shoelace of her shoes. And she was very slow in typing the words. And she left the school by the time she learned how to type very fast, and the father respected that she can be a word processing worker. That is all. Now try to understand, my dear students, in your life you will come across many handicapped children in your life, or many handicapped children or differently abled children, boys or girls, will be there in your society or in your village or in your neighborhood. So that is why Thaisa Frank told that they are the integral, very important ingredients or part of our society. So we must try to level the balance those handicapped children or differently abled children as that of the normal children. So technology plays a very important role in avoiding the gap between normal children and handicapped children. So technology can fulfill the wishes of handicapped or differently abled children. So we must also try to put our effort. We must also work hard and support and make them avoid the gap or the difference between handicapped people and handicapped or differently abled children and normal children. So please, my dear students, read the chapter again and again. Go through the important or difficult words, meanings, and important ideas incorporated in the story. And there will be sure question in your public examination, because you see, olden times, people or generations were very much against the development of science and technology. And people are, or especially children, are very much addicted to electronic gadgets like laptops and smartphones and everything. But now, we know that our education process is going on very smoothly with the assistance of technology, science and technology. So because of a COVID-19 pandemic, a second wave is going very high, and nowadays it is a little bit is subsiding, going down, and that is why the limitations or the restrictions were eased due to a decrease in the surge of a second wave of COVID-19 pandemic. But even then, the children are not allowed to visit the schools. But they have nearly lost 1.5 year, their academic year, without visiting their school for learning or studying their subjects and academy. So by the time technology came, as to make a balanced system, since so they have to study at home. Just teachers are giving online platform classes and instructions, technology, internet, and also gadgets, Google Form, Google Meet. Everything is made available with the assistance of technology. And we are trying to avoid our loss. We are just increasing, or we are just going together with our learning process even at home with the assistance of technology, internet. So like that, you see, you are all the children in the world itself actually just like a handicapped because of COVID-19 virus. They cannot go to school, they cannot visit colleges or educational institutions. So their learning process is conducted at home through science, through technology, through internet, through what do we call it as cyberspace, online platform. They do it only with the assistance of technology. So nowadays we are trying to do it. So technology should be utilized, not misused. Okay, it should be used only for our benefit, not misusing it. So this is the important idea Thaisa Frank is conveyed through this story, conceptual fruit. And please read the chapter. If students, you have any doubts, you can call me up too. And in the coming classes, we will be coming with actually we have to start our very important notes from gooseberries onwards. So in the coming days, you can expect more notes of all these classes we have taken, and prepare systematically and scientifically with a well designed timetable every day, since you don't have to waste time for going to school and coming back from school to home. Every time you are at home, please, within 2 months you are going to face your public examination. And my dear students, please work very hard, you will get A+. Wish you all the best. Thank you very much.